A young couple moves in to a new house. The husband often looks out the window and sees his neighbor's laundry hanging on the line, drying. Each morning, he remarks to his wife, "You know, the neighbor's wash is still dirty. They don't know how to do laundry over there." This goes on for several weeks, with the guy constantly criticizing his neighbor. They don't know how to do laundry. They're dirty. One day he has his buddies over, and they all laugh at the laundry. Then one morning he's surprised to see spotless, sparkling laundry hanging on the neighbor's line. "Look," he exclaims, "they finally learned how to do the laundry." His wife pauses and turns to him and says, "I got up early this morning and cleaned our windows." Our perceptions of a situation may not always be accurate. This day, instead of looking out the window at the faults of others, let us look inward. Changing our own perspective can alter how we perceive others. We may be quick to criticize at a time when we might first examine our own actions. They did not have enough information. His perspective was literally skewed by dirt. This is a tale and a minor one. Most of our wrongdoings are not about laundry, but about things of great consequence. Hurting others, damaging long-term relationships, knowingly or not. A contemporary version of this story might involve reposting online negatively and influencing others only to find out that we're wrong. Or not wrong, but someone gets really injured by the words that we repost anyway. On Rosh Hashanah, I noted that we feel broken for a variety of external reasons, factors that are not our actions, but that are in the world. I desperately want to escape feelings that emanate from the chaos of the world around us, and there's even more now this week. I encouraged us to recommit ourselves to the story of the Sinai covenant and not to the story of our traumas. I urged us to intensify our commitment to continuing, deepening a shul culture that values chesed, redemptive acts of loving kindness. And each of these actions can bring healing to the brokenness that we sense, which stems mostly from factors beyond our control, out in the great wide world. On Yom Kippur, we each confront the brokenness that is a result of our own action or inaction, our own sins. We cannot allow the problems of the world to overwhelm us to the extent that we don't address the issues of our own souls. So let's first turn to Rabbi Simcha Bunin, a Hasidic master from the 1700s, Polish. He taught that each of us should have 2 pockets in our pants or skirt, each with a different note. The first one reads, "I am a bat afar va'efer." I am only dust, meaning we understand, each of us, how small and insignificant we are and our actions are. Reminding ourselves that we are but dust keeps us humble. We don't actually matter that much. It reinforces that some issues are beyond our control. And this, I believe, allows us to function each crazy day. But it does not allow us to get to the heart of tshuva, of personal repentance. No water. When the problems of societies loom so great, it excuses us a bit from examining our own personal failings because we're so exhausted with the world. We don't have the koach, the internal strength to look inward at our own actions because we're just too tired. We learn from our friend down the road, a little south, Ben Franklin, who famously commented, 2 things are certain in life, death and, but there is another unavoidable certainty, and that is making mistakes. Confronting our mistakes is one way that Judaism helps us to lead an examined life. Seriously confronting who we are and how we got to be who we are. During Yom Kippur, during this day, we feel brokenhearted not because of the actions of the great big wide world. We are brokenhearted because we have let ourselves down. One inescapable message of Yom Kippur is that it forces us to confront our own mortality. We wear white, like a shroud. There are countless ways that we have missed the mark. Some are noted in our machzor. Others you will have to discern and say in your own private confession. Is there something in your sense of morality that is telling you that before your own death, you want to say, I did something wrong? Is there a still small voice in you yelling at you to say, fix this in yourself? The key to doing this sacred spiritual work is to come here feeling a bit unraveled. Not great. I believe the word is verklept by one's own deeds. This is our work on Yom Kippur. It is emotional and messy and complicated. Recognizing our heartbreak that comes to us by our own actions. That's the first step in doing tshuva. So now I'm going to go to something that I love, and already by year 5, you know I love modern Israeli music. Modern Israeli music has become the midrash, the Jewish teachings of our day. They're full of contemporary references and riffs on our sacred texts and on our values. In 2020, what a year, there was a poem released called Shvurei Lev, written by Hanan Ben Ari. Any of you know it? It imagines a broken-hearted person approaching God, seeking mercy on this day of Yom Kippur. Yes, Israeli pop music talks about Yom Kippur. Ben Ari sings in what feels like to me a prayer. I cried 2 summers ago when I heard him in concert. I'm not going to sing like he does, but Mi yodea kol ke'ev, mi rofeh li shvurei lev. The one who knows every pain, who is the one who repairs every broken heart, creates light and darkness, makes peace and war. Here's the part that you know it's Yom Kippur. Mi yoshev al kisei din, mitkaseh berachamim, mochel v'soleach. The one who sits in judgment is covered in mercy. That one pardons and forgives, sees all and knows all, and that is the one who will help heal my heart. On Yom Kippur, we ask for our hearts to be healed from the wrongdoing we have done. Ben Ari knows that when we come to God's seat of judgment with broken hearts, we will be covered in God's mercy. The gift and the joy of Yom Kippur is that we can heal our hearts through tshuva. God pardons and forgives and helps us to heal our hearts. So there are good reasons why we all just chanted, Ki anu amecha, we are your people, or Ashamnu, we are guilty, we have betrayed. But at some point, Yom Kippur needs to not be about the collective we, but about our personal journey towards atonement. An enduring lesson is that even though we chant in the plural, we can only ever change our own behavior, not anyone else's. Yom Kippur reminds us that each individual must confront their own failings personally. The notes from Rabbi Bunin in our pockets aren't just that we are dust. The other one says, Bishvili nivra ha'olam, the world was created for me. This is not a statement of narcissism. It's a reminder to each of us that our individual actions matter to ourselves, to our loved ones, our community, and to God. So for the rest of this Yom Kippur, we will sing Ashamnu in a lovely melody at a fast clip as if it were a mantra, and it sort of is. And when we say the lines of the Al-Chet, we do it in a sing-song cadence. Al-Chet, na-na-na-na-na-na-na. And perhaps, or not perhaps, I do find solace in the group sing, in the resounding sound of the entire congregation saying these same words. I feel a little uplifted, don't you? But standing with our community, with moving music, we might get stuck in the feeling, in the words of the book. And today we don't need words of our book, as Lou mentioned earlier. We need the words of our heart. That's the task. We have the words here and the music and the grandeur, but it is all to help us come clean with ourselves and with God. So for the next 8 times during Yom Kippur that we say this confessional, let's say these words slowly with kavanah, intention, and then let's find our own words. I invite you to slow down and to find solitude even in this room full of people. Dwell with your own broken heart so you can find the words for your personal confession. Some have come up to me in the last few weeks and have said, how can I chant the list of sins when I think great sins are being committed in the world, in Israel, in Gaza, in America? No doubt, there have always been large sins in the world, but that's not our job today. Our job is to figure out where we've gone off course. So you should add what's in your heart, and maybe what's in your heart is that you haven't advocated enough. Okay. But this is about what's on each of us. Use the words on the page as a guide. You should add what's in your heart, what you feel personally responsible for. My friend and colleague, Rabbi Yael Buchler, wrote a confessional for this year. We alienated, we blocked, we canceled, we feared, we gaslit, we judged, we yelled, we zoned out. I appreciate her update. It's a good start. Just as a reminder for this day, I know you know this, but Maimonides teaches that genuine tshuva has 4 elements. I say the 4 R's. Recognize, regret, resolve, return. Recognize what we have done wrong. Regret our choice. Resolve to not repeat it. Return to an opportunity to do that action again and make a better choice. Rav Abraham Isaac Cook the first chief rabbi of British Mandate Palestine, taught that tshuva can occur in both sudden and gradual ways. Often humans need both. Sudden tshuva, he writes in his book called Orot HaTshuva, comes up like an illuminating flash that enters the soul, a moment of complete clarity. 1 minute you're blind and in the dark about what you need to do to change, or that there was even a problem in the first place, and then suddenly it hits you. And there is a clear vision and a path forward. Have you had that this year? But there's also gradual repentance. That's taking the knowledge of wanting to change and then doing the hard and plodding work of achieving it each day. That's why tomorrow night, after we sound the shofar, after Yom Kippur is over, we do the Amidah again in the weekday of tomorrow night, and we say, Slach Lanu again, God forgive us. Because we're still working on our tshuva tomorrow. And tomorrow. And tomorrow. Today we make these confessions, but the real tshuva happens today and tomorrow and tomorrow, with commitments to new behaviors and different actions, and we mess up and then we try again. I want to share a story about one of my closest friends, one of my rabbinical school friends, with his blessing, of course. When he was just a teenager, his second mother died. His first mother had died when he was young. Both of them died from long illness. His father had just lost his second wife to illness and had a breakdown. My friend was angry at God, religion, his dad, everyone, everything. The son was angry and the father was broken, so they stopped speaking to each other for 10 years. For 10 years, they were estranged. What changed? For one thing, time. They both grew and matured. Second thing, they would both tell you, they've told me, therapy. Also, the son found his way back to an observant life, and anger gave way to compassion. His father was diagnosed with cancer. Mortality and regret softened him, but they still needed a spark. My friend was in a service, not yet so observant, and he heard the phrase, "Tshuva isn't the work of 25 hours, it's the work of weeks and months." It was the aha moment he needed. And after Yom Kippur, he called his father and asked for forgiveness, not expecting his dad to ask the same. Just doing it. It didn't happen in an instant. It took 2 years of hard work, of his calling, of his father willing to answer the phone. Slowly, they built back their relationship. Today, they talk every day. 2 of my friend's children live minutes from their grandfather so they can get free meals and Sabbath time. We can do tshuva. It can work if we will it and we work it. Not in an instant, but we need to start somewhere. Who can you and who can I do this with? In addition to those who you are close with, consider who in your family, your friend group, or this community can you rebuild a relationship with that may have been troubled because of a fight, one that you can't even remember why, or because of a fight that you can remember, probably something about politics. Maybe you thought of the other person as one-dimensional, but remember, we're all nuanced and complicated humans. And one lesson I think we should learn from the rising anti-Semitism around us is that those of us in our community are not that far from each other, even when we disagree with each other. So if you found someone your enemy 2, 5, 10, 15 years ago, see if you can be their friend. Try that. Or a family member. I know that genuine confession and contrition occur when we have the self-confidence to recognize that we are, in fact, mostly good. You see, you can't come and do tshuva unless you actually have a sense of self-worth. Rav Kook's commentary on the Mishnah points out that just as there is a confession for the bad, there also is supposed to be a confession for the good. Did you know that? We skip it. About 15 years ago, Rabbi Avi Weiss, a modern Orthodox rabbi in New York, created a communal confession of the good. So before you start thinking about all the bad, which we will all think about all day, I'd like you to repeat after me. Ahavnu, berachnu, gadalnu, dibarnu yofi. We have loved. We have blessed. We have grown. We have spoken positively. We have shown compassion. We have acted enthusiastically. We have been empathetic. We have cultivated truth. We have given good advice. We have forgiven others. On this day of soul searching, may we each remember that we get it right most of the time. May every good step we have taken this year strengthen us and allow us to recognize which of our own actions break our hearts, so that we can each begin the work of repair, our hearts, our relationships, our communities. Have an easy and meaningful fast. Gomar Chatima Tova. Please rise.